Empower Children, Basics of HIV, written by Vishurita Krocha, illustrated by Nikutizo Kiho, read by Shwen Lehim, Class 9. Neo and Alinho, who were best friends, walked to the school together as usual, donning their traditional Naga bags, which were almost bursting with books. That particular day in school, there were rumors of a classmate being HIV positive. When Neo and Alinho first heard the term HIV, they did not know what it stood for, but looking at how everybody seems to be associating it with some kind of dreadfulness, they both thought it must be the worst thing that could happen to anyone. In the days that followed, the school premise was filled with talks of HIV, most of which were not true. All the students were overwhelmed with misinformation that it became a challenge to take normal classes. It was at this point that the school authority decided to organize a talk on HIV and invited somebody to share his personal journey with the students. Neo and Alinho were curious to find out how life must be like for a HIV positive, but they were also a little nervous at the thought of actually meeting one. When the day of the talk arrived, the school was abused with a lot of cases and exemptions. Would it be safe to listen to him speak? Would they contract HIV if they sit near him? Will they feel sick if they share a cup of tea together? A lot of questions went through their minds. The students were instructed to pay full attention to the talk. When they were all seated in the assembly hall, the guest speaker, a young, healthy-looking man, walked in. "My dear students," he began, "does anyone here know what HIV stands for?" There was complete silence, indicating none of them knew. "Well, it stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus," he continued. "I'm here today to share my journey with HIV and dispel some of the myths you probably believed in. I was like you once, totally ignorant about HIV or what it means. But when it happened to me, I had no choice but to learn as much as I could about it. When I tested HIV positive, my family was shocked. I was also scared, and at one point of time, I started to think it was the end of me, but counseling gave me a ray of hope. I was introduced to the availability of treatment, and I began to believe that there is life beyond HIV, and so I choose to get better. I choose life." I'm sure you are all wondering what happens if you contract HIV. Well, HIV cannot be cured at the moment, but you can still live a healthy and a normal life with the treatment and service available. You may be having misconceptions about HIV, but you won't contract it by talking to him or her. You can be friends with them, play with them, share meals with them, give them a warm embrace, sit with them. You can do almost everything with them and not be worried because HIV does not spread through any of these social contexts. HIV can only spread through 4 main routes. One is through unprotected sex with an HIV-infected person, and therefore it is important that you follow the ABC of HIV prevention, which are abstinence for sex before marriage, being faithful to one partner. Secondly, you can contract HIV from HIV-infected blood and blood products. You must always remember to get blood from a licensed blood bank. The third route through which HIV spread is from sharing HIV-infected needles and syringes. You must use only steriles or new syringes and needles. Fourthly, HIV can spread from HIV-infected mother to her child. That is why it is very important for a pregnant woman to ensure regular antenatal checkups and HIV testing in the first 3 months of pregnancy. HIV from mother to baby can be prevented through right interventions and treatment. I hope this clears some of your doubts and you can all start treating an HIV-infected person with love and kindness as you would any other person. When the speaker finished talking, there was a sign of relief from the students. Whatever myths they had associated with HIV were now dispelled. After the talk, some of the students even shook hands with the speaker, acknowledging how ignorant they were about it. Neo and Alinyo were among the students. The talk changed their whole perspective about people living with HIV, and when they grow up, they plan to make a difference in the lives of these people who were often treated with disdain. They knew in their hearts that it takes one empowered student to spark the light, and they promised themselves that they would carry forward the light.